Hello and welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 259 and today's date is February 28th, 2024. I'm Troy West. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. Thank you for all the latest support. Y'all guys been really loving the Nintendo Switch shorts, so I appreciate that. We doubled our subscriber count. We're now at 261, so I definitely appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. But we do a weekly sports blog as well. The channel, of course, is based on sports and video games, two of my favorite things, so I mixed it into one channel. So that's what this channel is basically about, if you're new. And we're doing something new today. The video, I'm not live, but the chat is live. This is a premiere video. This is my first time doing it this way, so I wanted to do something different today. Normally I stream live, or usually I'll record and just post a video. But today we're going to do it this way, see if we get a different crowd here. But as I say every week, if you watch me all the time, this shouldn't be a long video. We don't have a lot really to talk about today. I'm just going to do my update on the MLB's National League Central. That's our next division in line. The next week we will do the American League Central, and then we have the West to do in the following weeks after that. Then we're going to probably do a show to preview the whole season as we look at, I'll give my predictions, who I think can make it to the World Series, MVP, all that stuff. So NBA, we're going to just give an update on the standings, talk about the teams that's been hot, teams that's been cold, talk about the Lakers a little bit, and the NFL. Not a lot of NFL news either. The hottest topic, of course, is what the Bears going to do with Justin Fields as the #1 pick. But I talked about that last week, so I'm not going to touch on that too much today. Just give my thoughts on what I think about the NFL franchise tags and the Combine, which is coming up. I think it starts today. I believe. I think the NFL Combine starts today, if I'm not mistaken. So in Indianapolis, that's where it's at every year. So you're going to hear somebody probably do a crazy 40 time or do something crazy and then leap up in the draft. It happens every year. So but we're gonna start with the MLB. Like I said, don't have a lot of baseball friends. I say it all the time, but I always want to try to put a little bit of baseball in the show, more for personal reasons, because I like baseball, and it's still the major three sport. So unless my crowd just say, look, I don't want to hear about baseball, I'd do it. But until then, I'm still going to talk a little baseball, at least a little bit of the show. But we're just going to touch on the National League Central, which is an interesting division, because I think as far as competitiveness, I think this is probably one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. The Brewers has been, the class of the division the last few years, either finishing first or second in the division. The Cardinals had a down year, but I expect them to bounce back. The Cubs made some moves in the offseason, especially the Cody Bellinger signing. Pirates got some veterans mixed with some young guys. They was sort of hot last year and faded away near the end of the season. And the Reds as well. The Reds sort of started slow, and then they turned it on and nearly made the playoffs, but fell short. So all these teams got something to bring to the table. With the Cardinals, like I said, I really think they're going to bounce back. I think Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt is going to carry that team. Got to get their pitcher together. No Adam Ray White, he retired. But I think other than that, I think they'd be fine. I think it's going to be a surprise to some people, but I won't be if they wind up winning this division. Cubs, like I said, made the moves in the offseason, got a good organization. Like I said, really been teetering since the World Series win in 2017. Really, been here and there, but just wasn't able to sustain that. Of course, lost a lot of guys. Chris Bryant, the core of that team, but trying to rebuild it back. So we'll see how that goes. So look out for the Cubs this year. The Brewers, like I said, gotta say they're the favorites to win it. Um, Even though they lost the ace, I went to the Baltimore Orioles. But they've been just playing team baseball the last couple of years. Nobody really stood out. Christian Yelich had that one good year, but last year he didn't play well at all. Especially offensively, he didn't. But we'll see if he bounced back this year. Um, but I gotta say the Brewers are the favorites, probably to win the division. Pittsburgh Pirates. Shout out to my bro James from New Jersey. Um, if you go back, I don't know the number by episode, but the episode when I looked at the AFC North, he's a Steelers fan. I was a Ravens fan, so we just chopped it up a little bit that episode. Good friend of mine. He's got some things going on. I probably reach out to him. I think he said he was about to go into the army and had some other stuff going on, but I'm gonna reach out to him anyway. Um, his Pirates, they started like I said, they started off well. I think they was in first place for a while, and then they just crashed once the second half of the season came. So maybe if they can sustain something, you got all this Chapman, veteran, Andrew McCutcheon has come back, so we'll see what the Pirates do this year. The Cincinnati Reds was exciting. They was the opposite. They started off slow and then turned it on in the second half, but still fell short of the playoffs. Um, but that young kid, the outfielder, I think it's Arella Cruz, I think. He's a good player to watch. Just that team um, in general should be exciting to watch. So this division, not boring at all. I think this could be a surprise team that rides out the division. Like I said, I still think the Cardinals. I really feel strongly about the Cardinals. To me, I compare the Cardinals to like the Spurs and the Patriots, even though both of those teams definitely making changes. Spurs, of course, um, not having a good season this year, haven't made the playoffs. I think this would be their second year in a row, missing the playoffs, third year, something like that. And the Patriots, of course, Bill Belichick family has moved on. So we're looking at a different direction for the Patriots, but has been a consistent winner or competing. The Cardinals was the same way in baseball. That was the team that um, either go to win the division or make the playoffs, get close to a World Series. They won 2 World Series since 2000. Let's just say since 2000, there's been the Patriots in football. It's been the Spurs over a 20-year span. I'm not talking because the Lakers, of course, won 3 straight. The Spurs won 5. Just never went back to back, but still was consistent. Was right there. Was challenging the Lakers and other teams. Won a couple titles themselves. So, and then the Cardinals same way. Um, I think this could be a bounce back, but like I said, you got to say the Brewers are the favorite to win the division. So that's my little baseball rant for this episode. Next week we will do the American League Central, which is another interesting division. You got the Indians. We got the Kansas City Royals. We'll see how their young team do. Them in Detroit, sort of try to find themselves. What's the other team in the division? AL. Yeah, Indians. We got the Royals. We got the Tigers. The Minnesota Twins, who's also an interesting team. So we're missing one. Missing a team here. Who else? And I said Cleveland Indians. Let me just type it in and look it up. Oh, the Guardians. Anyway, I'll call them the Indians. So, like the Guardians and the Commanders, which because of Native American reasons. This is still hard. Like when I'm talking naturally, I still say Indians and Redskins, but the names have been changed. The Chicago White Sox was the team I was forgetting for some reason, but this is an interesting division as well. I think the Guardians won it last year, won the division. Twins was close. White Sox, they had a lot of expectations, but they sort of fell off. Um, Fired Tony La Russa, so they had a rough year last year. And the Royals and the Tigers, like I said, they still try to figure out themselves, but they got young squad, young talent, so we'll see if they translate that into wins next year. So we'll look at that division next week. So now we're gonna move on to the NBA. NBA been, there's always crazy topics in the NBA. Like if you look on YouTube, other channels, other former players talking certain things. And like I said, I'm gonna touch on a little bit of drama. I'm gonna touch on the uh, the No Bull tour with Scottie Pippen, basically the leader of that. I'm gonna give my thoughts on that as well. But we're just gonna look at the current NBA standings and, like I said, teams who've been making noise or teams that's been struggling. So let's pull the standings up and let's see. I always like to start the East. I don't know why I always like to start the East. Maybe because it's the first part of the standings that comes up. And I do this every week, pretty much. Detroit, Washington, both 9 wins, but they done. Charlotte's done 15-43. I had expectations for the Hornets this year. I thought they'd take a step forward. Toronto Raptors are done, but they're gonna play hard, as you've been seeing lately. And winning certain games you think they would win. Brooklyn, same thing. They changed over their roster, the coach. So the Nets are finished. So now we get to the 10, which is, from 10 to 7 is the play-in. So I think, like I said this last week, probably the last few weeks, that the East is set. You got your 10 teams. It's just where they're going to finish. That'll be the only question. Atlanta, 26-32. No Trae Young, though. Bad news for him for a month. I think he got a finger injury. So that's going to hurt the Hawks. But I still think they'll hold on and get into the play-in. Chicago Bulls, still Zach LaVine and the guys still holding on at the nice spot, 27-31. The Pacers, really from 8 to 4, it's pretty bunched up because the Pacers, the Magic, the Sixers, the Heat, and they all got 33 wins. So 5 teams with the same amount of wins. But only why Indiana and Orlando is at 8-7 because they have one less. They have one more loss. They had 26 losses, with Philadelphia and Miami has 25 losses, and the Knicks are only 2 games above Miami at 35-24. So, but the Pacers, like I said, the Pacers have been a fun team to watch all year. Especially during the in-season tournament. They got all the way to the final against the Lakers. The Lakers ain't been the same since we had touched on the Lakers when we get to the West. But the Pacers, I mean, they can finish from here. I think they could get all the way up to 4, depending on how things shake out for the rest of the season. So they're 8th right now, but I think they have a chance to move up. Tyrese Halliburton having a great year. Team just fun to watch. The PL Siakam trade was huge for them as well. So we'll see how the Pacers move for the rest of the year. Orlando Magic, young. I think this is a great year for Orlando. Get this experience for the young guys. But I still think I see them as a first round and out team, no matter who they face in the first round, especially if they don't move up. Philadelphia 76ers, of course, now I'm starting to hear that, well, I'm not saying the Sixers are thinking about it, but people are suggesting they should just shut Embiid down for the rest of the year. Have him ready for the playoffs. Because like I said, I don't think Philly's going to fall all the way down and miss the playoffs, even without Embiid. So maybe you're thinking no matter where you finish, even if you had to be on the road in the first round, to have a healthy Embiid ready for the playoffs. That sound loud. Now that I've said it out loud, it sounds sort of logical, but I don't know. I just think if he's healthy, I think he should just come on and play. He's already missed a lot of time in his career. Forget the MVP. He's not getting that. He missed too many. Now he really missed too many games. Like it ain't like he's close. So uh, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. But personally, I would say if he's healthy, go ahead and get him back out there. But I think they're not going to fall out of playoff contention. They'll still be a playoff team. But in the East, to me, only teams that I feel really 100% confident in that will win the first round series. Honestly, I can say one because Milwaukee, and I still think the Bucks are going to be fine. We're going to touch on them in a second, but I don't think nobody will be afraid of the Bucks in the first round. I think Boston is the only team I'd be shocked if they get upset in the first round. And Boston is flying high right now. We're going to talk about them in a second, but let's move up more. Number 5, the Miami Heat. Of course, the Heat. That's a team that nobody wants to see in the first round. They play around in the regular season, but when playoff time, they just flip it. They really just flip a switch with Jimmy Butler and that Heat culture. So definitely would avoid the Heat in the first round. So I don't care where they, like I said this last week, I don't care where the Heat falls. They could be an 8th seed, which they did last year. They get all the way to the finals. So New York Knicks. Feel different about the Knicks this year a little bit. I admit that. But I think the Julius Randle thing is starting to hurt them a little bit. But they still been hovering winning games. So Knicks are doing pretty well. Just talked about the Bucks. Like I said, Giannis is still Giannis. Dame is being Dame, but it's the others. Can they be consistent enough? But in a series, I just still think now that they have Dame, I think that does change things for the Bucks. But Doc Rivers is their coach now, so and that's it. That's all, But I think the Bucks will be fine. I expect them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, though. I really do. Cleveland Cavaliers now, like I said, they still been winning. It's just like I said to me, just wake me up when the playoffs come. This is great what they doing. They've been great. Can't take anything away from them. Crazy shot last night by Max Strus, if y'all saw that. Half court shot to beat the Mavs last night. But I just don't think. I think when playoff time come, I think it's still gonna be too much pressure on Donovan Mitchell to be that scorer. So in the playoff time, can somebody step up and take the pressure off Donovan Mitchell? If not, then Cleveland will be one and done again to me, even if they stay in the second spot. Because I think, like I said, you could wind up getting Miami. You could wind up getting the Pacers. I think the Pacers won't be afraid of them. Atlanta, even though Atlanta is 10th, but Trae Young, you see what he's done in the playoffs in the past. So you could get the Sixers if they fall that far. Let's just say they stay at 2. So, I mean, you get any of these teams, and, I think the Knicks will beat them again in the first round if they played again. So, I just, until they get past the first round, honestly, I don't see Cleveland still, even though they're playing very, very well, can they do this in the playoffs? And, of course, the Boston Celtics, clearly the best team in the NBA, clearly should be the favorite to win it all, have the experience. They have a veteran point guard, Drew Holiday, that's not going to turn the ball over. So that's been Boston's problem in the playoffs. Bad turnovers because Tatum and Brown got to handle the ball too much. But they got a nice overall team. They got a great bench. This is just a deep team. Porzingis is the question mark. Even though he's playing well, can he stay healthy? Number 1 and number 2. How would he react to the playoff pressure? Those are the only 2 questions I got for the Celtics. Other than that, I don't see nobody in the East or the West beating them in the series right now. All right, let's go to the West. Western Conference, interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's get the lower teams out the way. Spurs, I brought them up earlier. Not the same old Spurs. 11-48, they're done. Portland Trailblazers, trying to find themselves. 15-42, they finished. Grizzlies, like I said, have up and down year. Ja came back, got hurt for the year anyway. I think Desmond Bain and Jared Jackson Jr. I think they two best players right now, other than Ja. But can they develop? They need to get to another level for next year to go with Ja. If the Grizzlies going to be competitive, or maybe they should think about maybe trading one of them and getting more assets. Um, that's just my thought on the Grizzlies, but they finished for this year for sure. Houston Rockets, I'm starting to lose more faith in them week by week. It's like they slipping. I don't know if they're going to be able to make the playoffs, but I won't say they done yet. Utah, same thing. This happened last year with the Jazz. I want to say they done, but I just can't yet because the team that's 10th, the LA Lakers. Of course, everybody always talk about the Lakers. Of course, it's the NBA, LeBron James on the team and everything. Let me get this out the way first. This is sort of off the court with his son, latest comments with that and stuff. Me personally, I just know that his son, like, look what LeBron James done his career. It'd be crazy to think his son could even match that, let alone do what his father did. But like, unfortunately, that's just the pressure comes with being LeBron James' son. I can imagine it's probably his whole life since he's been playing basketball. He's not going to be able to just play basketball. Like, he got to get that through his head. But I also do think some people been saying basically with the pressure, because LeBron do say stuff. Like, I think he said Bronny can play for the Lakers right now. I do think that's problematic in the locker room, probably, because they're basically saying, who you got. They say that LeBron has done this sort of his whole career. When he was at Cleveland, he said we top heavy as F or whatever he said. Basically, the guys that's on the team is like, he basically go to the media and say certain stuff that can make things put more of a spotlight on you. So I think that is true as far as when it comes to his son. But now he's trying to pull it back a little bit because he see the draft will be coming up soon. The college basketball is almost over. Bronny barely played. Of course, he had the cardiac arrest, which was scary for anybody, I can imagine, especially at a young age that Bronny's at. I think Bronny's, 19? So I think, I think he would be a great player. Now, I don't know about a star. Not even a star. I don't know. I haven't barely saw him play, be honest with y'all. I barely saw Bronny play. He's going to have a decent career, and his name is going to help him with that because he's going to get opportunities that maybe anybody else won't get because he's LeBron James' son. But I think as a fan, I'm just saying I don't expect him to be LeBron or to be nowhere near LeBron. I just think he'd be a great player, but we'll see what the future holds for him. But yeah, LeBron need to chill out as far as you need to chill out, man. Like, let things happen the way it happens. I understand, why he's trying to pull back, but I don't know. I think he'd be fine though. But as far as the Lakers, not to go too off topic, I just want to touch on that because that's been a topic everybody been talking about. I don't know. Lakers sort of just, it frustrates me, like, when you think about it, because Anthony Davis, like I said, I've said this every time I talked about the Lakers. It's not his fault. He's been healthy. He's played well. LeBron has played well. It's just watching the Lakers games is like, it consisted like D'Angelo Russell was great. Like, and the matter of fact, the game Sunday when they played Phoenix, he was on fire, but then he won't show up the next game. Same with Austin Reeves. Just too inconsistent. LeBron can't play 40 minutes a game, and that's an issue too. So I just think they're too talented. They're going to make the playoffs. I just don't know if they're going to make a run like they did last year. They was the 7th seed, got all the way to the Western Conference Final. I think that's possible again. But right now, they're not playing well, so we'll see. Golden State Warriors. I've been very strongly about the Warriors as well. I think, especially after this year, they got to retool. Keep Steph, but everybody else, see what you can get for him. I think Klay Thompson's contract's up. I wouldn't mind keeping him, but it would have to be definitely a renegotiation. Draymond Green. Honestly, if I had to choose between the two, Draymond or Klay, who's more important, I still think Draymond just because of the culture he sets there. Klay, I'm not saying you can find another Klay, but Klay, is a shooter. He can just find a shooter. I think the young guys is playing well. Krasinski and the other young guys, Looney. I think they're developing well. But they need Andrew Wiggins. To me, is the biggest problem as far as you expected more from him. I think if he was more consistent, the Warriors would be better off. Steph is Steph. He's always going to be Steph. As long as he can run, and he always going to be able to shoot too. He's probably 90 years old. So long as Steph's legs is healthy, he'll still do his thing. But I think Andrew Wiggins, to me, I think they expected him to be more of a star role, but just hasn't been consistent enough this year. So I think the Warriors need to sort of retool. I don't think they're a championship team right now, but we'll see. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Number 8, the Dallas Mavericks, 33-25. Mavs, I feel so about them as well. I love Luka. I love Kyrie. But can they guard well? And in the 7-game series, if Luka and Kyrie ain't on, what happened to the Mavs? But they're definitely a fun team to watch. The Sacramento Kings, like I said, some people think they took a step back, but I think, like I said, the more experience, I actually think they better than they was last year. I actually believe that, even though they're a 7 seed. I think with that playoff series last year under their belt, I think the playoffs will be much more kind to them. I just think teams got better, like the Clippers. We didn't expect the Clippers to turn it back on again. And New Orleans, we'll see if they sustain their success. But I like the Kings. I think they still make the playoffs. They give somebody trouble in the first round. Phoenix Suns. I like I said, they was on Sunday against the Lakers. I didn't know about their fourth quarter problems though. They was really pointed out there. Like I said, I want to see where this team fully like with Bradley Beal. I want to see it be more consistent. And then I get my judgment on Phoenix. But Phoenix, of course, their biggest weakness is they don't have a big man, a real big man. Jokic is fine, but you need somebody else in there. But like I said, that's not a big weakness anymore because most of the NBA either they bigs play small, or everybody's playing small anyway. So, but like Minnesota, for example, we'll talk about them in a second. They got 2 big men, which as far as defensively, it helps them out a lot. But we'll see how far the Suns go. With Durant, if Durant get high, he could carry a team all the way to the finals, I believe. So Phoenix always going to be a dangerous team to deal with. New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, this is off the court. Of course, Zion. Something Stephen A. Smith said about Zion, talking about eat cheeseburgers and all this other nonsense. They've been going back and forth on social media, them and Pelicans. I say Stephen A. response, it was kind of funny because, of course, he went into the recent no success. But I think the Pelicans are for real, though. I think even though Zion, you can say whatever you want about Zion, but when he's playing, he's a great player. So Brandon Ingram quietly don't get a lot of credit. I think this team, like I said, it's sort of how I feel about Cleveland. I don't know when playoff come around, can they keep this level of play throughout the playoffs? I don't know about that, but we'll see. We'll see who they match up with, because I think in the West is really going to matter where the matchups are. So, but right now they 5th. 4th, the LA Clippers, of course. They revealed their new uniforms for next year. They're going to move into their new arena next year. Kawhi, seems to be healthy. Like I said, Paul George as well. Like I said, I always give credit to Russell Westbrook for taking a step back with Harden. They're going to be a dangerous team. Playoff time. I wonder who they match up with. I think that'd be interesting, especially in the second round. Um, the Clippers, they're gonna be there to contend with. Can you just keep holding your breath, hoping that Kawhi don't get hurt or Paul George or any of those guys. So, other than that, they're going to be right there and have something to say about the West. Denver Nuggets, same defending champions. The Joker keep doing things nobody never done before. What he got? What was it? 4 straight games with 15 assists and 15 rebounds. Like that's just nuts. I mean, and that's why with Phoenix, you need a big man to bother the Joker because see Minnesota has it. I only worry about Minnesota experience, and Minnesota has the guys that go at him. But see nobody else on this list really either. Warriors are small. The Lakers have Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis sometimes disappear on defense too. So, but Denver is always going to have something to say. Jamal Murray, he's different in the playoffs. So it depends on where Denver stands. We'll see. But right now they third. Right now it'd be Denver against Phoenix in the first round. See, and I think Denver had to be the favorite because Joker would just disrupt that whole series because nobody would be able to guard him. Even though Durant's 7 foot, but he can't. Even though Joker probably can't guard Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant definitely can't guard the Joker either. So, but we'll see. The Nuggets will be interested again. And right now in the West, like I said, the 2 top teams, OKC and Minnesota, they're young, so I just don't know how they're going to be in the playoffs. So Denver and probably the Clippers, a lot of people probably leaning on to come out the West. But OKC, I really love the Thunder, man. I loved them last year. They got a lot of young talent. They got some big guys as well to continue with young, but they big. SGA is just unbelievable. I'm glad he's getting considered for MVP. I really like this team. Is they ready? That's the only thing with the Thunder. Are they ready when the playoff time? Because like I said, those bottom teams have experience. Lakers, Warriors, Dallas, even the Kings. Like I think any of those teams could get them trouble in the first round. I don't see no sweeps. Coming out the West, it'd be a shock. But that's the only thing with the Thunder is they're gonna be ready for the playoffs. Minnesota, same thing. I'm worried about Minnesota scoring a little bit. I think they a little bit, they could, after Edwards, a lot of people try to push him out there. Like I said, you need to calm down a little bit. He had a good game last night. He's a great player. I'm not saying he's a great player, but to be on the level of certain guys, I just don't think he's there yet. But he's going to have to be their scorer, though, on the outside. Cat, he's quietly having a great year. Rudy Gobert is who he is. A great defensive anchor. And the bench is not bad. So Minnesota, like I said, if they hold on to this 1 seed, that'd be great. But I just think, like I said, them and OKC, even if they wind up being your top 2 teams, the bottom, you get the Warriors in the first round, which I think would be an issue because of the experience. You get the Lakers in the first round, possibly, So as long as they don't get no veteran team, or something like that. But even Dallas or Sacramento can upset them. Phoenix might fall down there in New Orleans. So these teams you can meet in the first round that I think will challenge the T-Wolves or the Thunder. So that's my only thing on that. But that's the Western Conference. Like I said, we'll do this again next week. But a lot to look forward to the second half of the NBA season. It's only a weekend, so we'll see where things fall. But like I said, I think the West. I don't want to declare. Like I said, I don't want to count out Houston. I'm already about to count out, but I don't want to count out Utah yet either. But other than that, we got our playoff teams already. Like it's just going to be where they fall in the standings, especially the East because it's so bunched up from 8 to basically the 8-4. I put a line Milwaukee, Cleveland, Boston. I get them their own space, but from 4 all the way down to 8, all those teams can flip. I think Atlanta probably will stay 9 or 10. I think Chicago as well. I think they in their own little space, and then you got the rest of the teams. But in the West, like I said, you got uh I'll go with the first 4. I'll put the Clippers up there too, but Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Clippers. Then you got another wave with New Orleans, Phoenix, Sacramento, Dallas. And then I think Golden State and the Lakers sort of in the same bubble as well. They could flip or they could move up. So we'll see. We'll see how it looks next. Because sometimes in a week time, this would be whole thing could be flipped upside down. So we'll see. All right. Just gonna touch on just a little bit of NFL stuff. Wait. I wanted to touch on the No Bull Tour with Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, and Horace Grant. I mean, as far as them doing it, I don't know why they doing it. I mean, The Last Dance, if you've seen The Last Dance, I don't think it didn't make nobody look bad, to me. Now, you can't tell these guys that. I don't know what Luke Longley problem really is. Scotty, I think he's upset about the year Jordan was gone. And I think it's either a playoff game or regular season game when he went the last shot and he refused to go in the game. And I think he stayed out the game. And Tony Kukoc hit the game-winning shot. I think that, and then the contract thing, I think they played on that a little bit too much, maybe to his liking. He signed a contract, and his agent and everybody sort of warned him not to, but then he got upset because he was underpaid, and I think he delayed a surgery that went into the season, which I never remember none of this as a kid. I knew the Bulls that last season struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season, but I didn't. I just assumed Scotty played, most of the time. Dennis Rodman had his issues, but Dennis Rodman ain't really saying anything. And then with Pittman as well, is some personal stuff with his, I think with Jordan's son and his daughter. It's all a bunch of stuff. And Horace Grant, I think his issue is that if I can remember, because he was on the first three-peat. I think when Jordan retired, which I don't, something happened, and I think either Jordan wanted to move on from Horace Grant, something to that nature, I believe. And then when Jordan came back, and Orlando beat him in the second round or the Eastern semis. Was Penny Hardaway and the young Shaq. But then the Bulls got him back that next year. That's what started the three-peat again. Because he was on that Orlando team. I mean, I don't really understand his issue, really. Scotty's, I could understand it a little bit because it's personal. It's very personal. And then, they made him look bad with that contract thing, whatever. Luke Longley, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what this issue is. So maybe he had a problem. Maybe we'll find out. But they started the tour in Australia. Luke Longley, he got a podcast. I seen when the thing was going on with Josh Giddey. Don't want to bring that up, but when that was going on, he's from Australia too, so he sort of commented on it and everything. So he got a voice. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what come out of this. But I don't think it's going to make them look good if they got a lot of crazy, stupid stuff to say. I don't think it's going to be a good look for those guys. I see Gilbert Arenas. Everybody probably know Gilbert Arenas. He got his own podcast and show too on YouTube. He was saying he don't want to hear it. Like, y'all want a title. He don't care what Jordan did to you guys. It resulted in the championships. Honestly, now, like, I thought it was crazy when he said, "Will you have rather had 300 million or 7 rings?" I don't blame the person that went the 300 million. I really don't, because I'm starting to get his point now. First, I was like, man, I take the 7 rings, but I don't know. Like now, I mean, I see both sides now. I didn't see it at first, so I really started thinking. Then we look at today's players. Like a James Harden with a career he had, he might not ever win a championship. And then the other guys never won championships. So I don't know. I mean, I can see it for both sides, but I'm not a money person, so I probably would rather have the 7 rings. But I get it. I get it. I get what Gilbert was trying to say there now. So all right, so now the NFL, like I said, not much to talk about. Like we got the combine coming. Like I said, I think it starts today, if I'm not mistaken. We got the franchise tag is now. I think the season don't officially start. Well, the new calendar year don't start to like mid-March. So these are just projections. Um, but no major tags. I think people just suspected. Like the Giants, if they're going to franchise Saquon Barkley again, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we're going to have some big free agents coming. And the combine, like I don't really pay attention to the combine, but like I was saying earlier, somebody's gonna run a crazy 40 time or something like that, and you're gonna start hearing some names you ain't been hearing, especially throughout the college football season. But I think the kid Caleb Williams still gonna be the number 1 pick. Is it gonna be the Bears or somebody else? Oh, excuse me, because like I said, I touched on the Justin Fields bad situation. Like I said, I think they should keep him and either trade the number 1 pick or trade it or trade down a little bit. Maybe try to get Marvin Harrison Jr. to go along with um, Justin Fields. That's what I would try to do if I was the Bears instead of just starting over. Because basically you're gonna be starting over. And despite how good Caleb Williams is, I think it's going to be like starting over. And like I said, that division has gotten a lot stronger overnight with Jordan Love being playing well for Green Bay. Green Bay was the wild card. I was like, Green Bay could be good, but we don't know. But we see how good they can be. Minnesota's going to be better next year if Kirk Cousins come back. So, and Detroit ain't going nowhere either. So, I think they should, I say it again, I think they should try to keep Fields and build on what they have. Maybe try to stay in the top 5 and get Marvin Harrison. That's what I would try to do if I was the Bears. But that's it. I don't got nothing much more to say, guys. That's it for this week episode. I hope y'all liked it this way. I might start doing it this way from now on because being live sometimes, I like to be live because I like to see the comments live. But I'll be in the chat if somebody comes through and watches. But it's going to premiere. I'm going to set it for 11 o'clock. My family set it for 11:30 just to give it some time to load up and everything. But thank you guys. Final thoughts here. I'll probably do a couple of shorts today, so stay tuned for that. Y'all been really loving the shorts, especially the Mario Brothers 1 shorts with the retro series. I'm gonna try to do some Mario versus Donkey Kong videos today, short videos. So just to look out for it. You might see some random games to throw in there. Like I did Ninja Gaiden a couple times. I did Street Fighter 2. I did Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct is a new game. Well, not a new game, but new to the lineup with the Nintendo Switch online. So, but y'all been loving them. That's been helping the channel grow. So thanks so much for that. But I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I see you guys. B, I miss you, bro. Hopefully you're doing well, man. I ain't heard from you in a couple weeks. So I hope you're doing good, man. Like I said, I gotta get your Nintendo information so we can hook up there. Shout out to Dollar the Hologram. Shout out to my other YouTube friends. I'll probably post something on the community wall to shout you guys out. Thank you guys so much for watching. All my new subscribers, thank you as well. Y'all been very, very supportive. I appreciate it. Sad thing is I get more support from strangers than I get from my inner circle. Well, I want to say my inner circle, like my associates, I should say. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you. Next week, probably be another Wednesday show. I don't know if I'm going to do a live. If this has success, I'll probably do it this way so I can be in the chat with you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next Wednesday. Like I said, be a lot more shorts coming. And like I said, I still plan on getting back on PlayStation. Just don't know when still yet. But I'm still planning on getting back on PlayStation. Gotta still make a couple more moves. But until then, you'll see a lot of the Nintendo shorts. But thank you guys. definitely put in the comments what y'all guys want to talk about, what you guys want to comment on. I definitely appreciate that. I try to stay out of the drama stuff. Like I said, that's why I touched on the Bulls thing a little bit. I touched on, like I said, I was going to touch on the Cam Newton situation as well, which I think is shameful that they keep disrespecting Cam. But like I said, if y'all want to talk about stuff like that or anything when it comes to sports, definitely you can suggest anything, and I do my research on it. We'll talk about it. So see you guys next week. Peace and love. Episode 259 is in the books. I'll see you guys next week. We got the N.L Central on deck, more NBA, and in NFL, we should probably have some news. Will Justin Fields be traded by then? We'll see. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace and love always. Thank you so much for watching the Silent Sports and Gaming channel.